Right, that's the sling and the daylight scope, the little Maven RS2 back on. I'm going to go and do a little bit of fox whistling and hopefully see a couple of bunnies because there is scarce as at the moment. Yeah, so the thermal's off for now, but it will be going back on later this evening. Going into the dark, I'm going to switch back to this little SCT35 infrared, and so far I've been quite impressed with this. It's far from a top end unit, but it's far from a bottom end unit as well. Easy enough to adjust to side in, and I'm pretty happy with where that's heading now at 50 yards. About half an inch high. I'll set those, well, I'm actually going to try these, the little Remington 33 grains tonight. Yeah, a little bit of a shame that the actual reticle's not going to be centered up in the image. But I can fix that, I think, over time, whether I shim it or whether I actually machine a bit of an angle into the mount. I'm swaying towards trying that second option, make it a little bit more professional sort of job. So anyway, we're going to give this a bit of a run now as the sun comes out. Sun's out, foxes should be out. So let's go and see if we can find a couple. And even better if we see a couple of rabbits, because they're almost extinct up here. You wouldn't believe up here over the years, used to be thousands of rabbits. Well, maybe that's pushing the limits a bit, hundreds of rabbits. But either way, we used to sit back there and set up with the big guns and snipe this whole gully here. Yeah, I certainly miss just walking around with a 22 rimfire and nailing a few rabbits. And not only have the rabbit numbers died off, the fox numbers have died off with them. It just makes it more of a challenge to see if I can drag a couple of foxes in. When I say a couple, I'll be quite happy with one, to be honest with you. I can feel that wind coming up behind me, coming up this way, and every now and then across this way. So it's not ideal. But what I think I'll do is I'll gain a bit of height up here. Whistle the high ground first, and then come back down and drop into the creek. And maybe I should rephrase that. Not literally drop into the creek, drop back down to the creek. Well, I was hoping something to make a liar out of me and just bolt off on me. I was ready to drop the camera, just grab the little rifle and have a go. But not the case. So we'll crest this hill, get up over the top here, reassess the wind, and probably have our first whistle. Once I get up over here, there's another little gully system that sort of goes back, and it's not too deep. Wind should be just good, just to sit up under a tree in the shadows and have the first whistle, I think. This tree looks as good as any to sit down under here and try and drag something up out of here. Breeze is coming up lovely, not too strong, so the whistle still should carry. Just as I've about to sit down here, I'm thinking, what's that noise? And it's a chainsaw, but not a normal chainsaw, an electric chainsaw. So, yeah, a couple of locals are just getting some wood up there, so good luck to them. But yeah, I might just have a puff of the whistle anyway. You just never know. Stranger things have happened. So let's give it a go. We'll start off with the little trumpet part of the T2. Well, plan A is, as expected, a failure. So I will regroup here and move on. Just gonna get myself in amongst these rocks here. Just use it as a bit of a backdrop. There's a couple of trees and some bracken here. So we'll get in here and hopefully that I can drag something up here. I might whistle for quite some time here. Nada, not a thing, not a movement. I think it's time to swing around, start dropping down towards the creek and see if I can drag something out of there. This tree's going to be as good as any, unless they come in over on straight ahead or to my right. Well, that's more like it. It's nice when a plan comes together. It might take plan A, B and C before we get there, but in the end I spotted that fox coming in right up on the ridge, and he committed, or he or she, I haven't checked as yet, but either way it's in top condition by the look of it. Nice winter coat. But it got to that patch of bracken and rocks down around that tree, probably about 90, 100, and I was very close to touching off a shot. And I thought, I'll just give another touch on the whistle, and it was enough for it to commit. And I thought, next time it pulls up, I'm going to send a little 30 grain VMAX its way, and it certainly did the job, dropping it on the spot with a chest shot. So let's go down and check whether it's a dog or a vixen. Certainly looks like it's in good condition. So we'll scalp this one and then we'll head down and have another whistle down near the creek, and let's see what it is. It's one dog fox, and quite a good one. Many might tell you that winter is not the best time for whistling foxes. Well, it may not be the peak time, but I definitely wouldn't come up into these areas without having a whistle around my neck, and basically being prepared, because the silly thing is I haven't seen any out at all. But a whistle will often do two things. One, bring them towards you, or make them stand up and bolt away from you. But either way, you've got a chance of seeing what's around. So, that wind is definitely coming straight up the gully now, but it's nice and steady. So we're going to head down over here, get a bit of an elevation so I can see for as far as I can, because I am on my own, and see if we can drag another one in. Well, no takers so far. Have not seen a rabbit. I never thought I'd see the day. Righto, it's time to go from day mode into night mode. Woohoo! sorry buddy, you're the only rabbit I've seen all day. So you're coming home with me. Chest shot, 22 mag, certainly stamps its authority. Yeah, I just had to make sure where those cows were there. They were a fair way off, and I had a clear shot through in the end. So yeah, certainly stamped its authority. Had a couple of foxes in the distance. I had a little bit of a puff on the whistle of one, but he's not interested at all. But certainly this is a stealthy method of walking through the paddocks. So let's see if we can find some more rabbits. And I'll gut this one out, and he'll be coming home with me. He's actually quite a big fox, and one of the bigger foxes that I've actually shot up here for quite a while. He had no idea that I was here. Well, I'll rephrase that. He knew something wasn't right, but just walking around like this, red light on, and obviously the thermal, it's got the job done. And this is probably a fox, if I'd shone the light on, he's probably been educated and probably bolted. And I didn't actually use the whistle in any form. I gave a couple of little mouth chirps, and he wasn't overly interested. So in the end, yeah, I was pretty impressed there with the 22 mag. At first I thought, oh, I've missed him. Then I thought, no, hold on, he's slowing down. And obviously at that sort of range, 150 plus, I'd say it's hit him in the chest, and he's either lung or heart. He's hadn't gone too far, 20 or 30 yards, and piled up. Well, it was a productive afternoon and evening. A couple of foxes and probably the best part of a dozen rabbits. So quite impressed with the way the little thermal system works, both the scanner and the scope. As mentioned, I'll have to do a little bit of fine tuning to get that reticle back in the center of the image, but other than that, yeah, not much stands a chance, and I can understand why it is so well used for vermin and pest control. So anyway, time to skin a few bunnies and head home.